The junior final, round one of the Supermaster Series here at Adria. Rashid leads them up to the line, and we race. Great start by the Emirati, goes into position one comfortably. Maxim Rem, we're looking for the German. The top Ricky Flynn Motorsport team driver, the Kart Republic of Gustav Wisniewski. In second place, right behind the Emirati in the Paralin, who leads the way. The RFM drivers have not made the best start. Back in fourth place is Maxim Rem. Freddie Slater out wide at the start and has missed it. He's lost a ton of time. Will that cost Slater the race? He's back in seventh, eighth place as Rashid is being shadowed by the Kart Republic of Wisniewski. There's Slater going through. A disastrous start for Slater. They come across the line for the first time. The junior final here at Adria. It is the Champions Cup champion, Rashid, who leads from Wisniewski. James in third place from Maxim, Dmitry Kutskov. Slater back in seventh from Sonny Smith. The second Sauber Kart Republic right behind Slater, who won the pre-final this morning. There is Fast Freddy 327 for Ricky Flynn Motorsport as Kutskov and Matveev, the two Russians, trade positions. Rashid and Gustav pulling away from the rest of the pack nicely. And Maxim Rem in third has got by James Agotzi. Carnage further back in the pack. We've lost one of the Tony karts. We'll tell you who it is exactly in a moment. It looks like Agotzi. James Agotzi out on the second lap of the race of the American. What a disaster for James as Rashid goes across the line from Gustav. Agotzi is out. Sonny Smith involved in that. He's fallen right down the order. He comes across in 14th place. Slater up to 5th behind Kutskov and ahead of Matthias Ferreira. The field spread out, courtesy of scattering to avoid the American, who walks off disconsolately into the gravel. He's out. Agotzi has retired. We've also lost Harley Keeble as well, as Rashid comes down through the chicane and starts to settle into a rhythm in the junior final here this afternoon. So from the United Arab Emirates, Rashid Al Daheri, Gustav Wisniewski, Maxim Rem, Kirill Kutskov and Fast Freddy P5. Ferreira, Matveev, Krapin, Maximilian Popov and Josh Irfan into 10th place. So sensation here at the start. We've lost both the Tony karts. Keebs is out, as is James Agotzi. Their Tony karts parked on the side of the circuit. On the second lap of the race, two of the favourites have retired as Matthias Ferreira, there's the Brazilian in the background, goes down the inside to take Freddie Slater, has just set the fastest lap in the early stages of this, the junior final, the first round of the WSK Supermaster Series. Wisniewski starting to lose touch a little bit with Rashid. He looks good, the Emirati. 7 days after winning the WSK Champions Cup. The WSK Euro Series champion. He's won the Supermaster Series before as well, although that was in the mini categories. And Rashid looking to take another WSK title. The virtual championship, still early stages in the series, but he leads comfortably on 89 points from Wisniewski, second in the race and second in the series, equal with Slater on 50 points, but still a long way to go as Kirill Kutskov, or Matthias Ferreira in fact. No, indeed it was the former. There's the Russian Kirill, goes by Slater, does not have the speed here this afternoon. Freddie qualified on pole position on Friday with a 49.690, so almost a second quicker than they're going at the moment. He won every single heat, did Slater. He was in brilliant form. Rashid Al Daheri also had a great run. They were in different groups. They didn't race against each other except one time when Freddie took the upper hand. But at the moment, it is his Emirati opponent who leads the way from Gustav. And Kirill Kutskov, not long out of the 60 mini category, in third place. Wisniewski driving superbly is the pole. There is Slater behind Kutskov ahead of Matthias Ferreira. Matveev, Krapin and Popov. We've got 4 Russians inside the top 10. You remember the 2019 WSK Final Cup in the mini category when the Russians finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Well, many of them have now moved up into the junior category, including Kutskov, who's now in 3rd, Matviv in 7th, Krapin in 9th for Ward Racing. And also for Joachim Ward's Swedish team, it is the driver from the Olympic city of Sochi in southern Russia, Maximilian Popov. He's ahead of Kin Nakamura Berta, Josh Irfan, Manuel Scognamiglio, Zachary David, Enzo Deligny, Smith, Bondarev, Gubenko, Powell's in 18th from Flutzer, and the Scotsman Harry Burgoyne in position 20. That was Keeble's banter Tony Kart in the background. Out was Keepsy on the 2nd lap of the race, as was his Tony Kart teammate James Agozzi. Real disappointment for the green team from Pravale as the Paralink continues to lead, and now Kin Nakamura Berta, who comes across the line for Forza Racing in 9th place, sets the fastest lap. Here comes the Japanese driver, but we're about to approach half race distance. The Ricky Flynn Motorsport driver has just been passed. It looks like Matviv has gone by and taken Slater as well. Maxim Rem, so the RFM drivers, Rem in 325 and Slater 327. They have been in superb form indeed. Ricky Flynn Motorsport finished 1st, 2nd and 3rd in multiple heats throughout the week, but they just don't have it here this afternoon. This is half race distance. 8 laps remaining. The order at the bottom of your screen, and Rashid is pulling away. Driving superbly is the Emirati. There is the distance. Back to the pole, Gustav Wisniewski in the Sauber Kart Republic as Rem and Slater trade places. They don't have an answer this afternoon. They played their cards early in the week. There is Slater and Rem. Slater 327, Rem 325 behind him. But Fast Freddy, the reigning junior world champion, back in 5th place. Again, Kin Nakamura Berta. He's the fastest driver on the circuit for Forza Racing, and it won't be long before he catches the Russian drivers in front of him, and then the RFM junior duo. There's Kin going through, and just behind him, Popov, Krapin, Irfan, Scognamiglio, Deligny, Sonny, Smith. From the 3rd row of the grid, he's back in 14th place from the Filipino, Zachary David. It's looking good for Rashid to go 2 in a row. Look at the gap, 1.3 seconds. As Keeble's 305 Tony Kart parked helplessly in the gravel in the background. There's Kirill Kutskov. Just out of the 60 mini category is the Russian in 3rd place in OK Junior on the podium at the moment. Ferreira behind him. We already had a Brazilian victory last week with Rafa Kamara in OK. Matias Ferreira from South America, 1 step off the podium, another fastest lap for the TM-powered Esprit of that driver for Forza Racing, Kin Nakamura Berta. Sits in behind Dmitry Matviv, last year's Supermaster Series champion in the 60 mini category. Kin Nakamura Berta, there's an opportunity just too far back to take the Russian. Rashid doing absolutely everything right at the moment. From the Grand Prix town, I should say, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, lives just a stone's throw away from the Yas Marina F1 Grand Prix circuit, which first burst onto the Formula One calendar way back in 2009 when Rashid was only a couple of years old at best. He has been faultless, a perfect driver. Kin Nakamura Berta still shadows Dmitry Matviv. In fact, he's gone by. He takes the Siberian. He was the quickest driver consistently on the circuit. And Kin Nakamura Berta moves up to 7th place. Rashid The gap, 1.6 seconds. Wisniewski in the Sauber Kart Republic has got no response for the Emirati. Kin Nakamura Berta, despite making that move, has still set another fastest lap. There is the Japanese driver. Ahead of the Russians, Dmitry Matveev, Maximilian Popov, Konstantin Krapin, and the Londoner Josh Irfan. Harry Burgoyne going through the Scotsman ahead of the Jamaican Alex Powell, who's come from grid 30, but it won't be the Caribbean kids' afternoon here today. Rashid Al-Daheri looking to follow in the footsteps of some famous names who have won the WSK Supermaster Series in the past. We go back to 2010 when Nicholas Nielsen won it in a Perilla-powered DR kart, and Nicholas joins our live coverage as he prepares for the World Endurance Championship. He was one of the first ever winners, along with Betsky Visa, Antonio Giovinazzi and Marco Dionysis, to take out the WSK Supermaster Series some 11 years ago in KF3, as it was then called. Well, Rashid, it looks as though he will follow in the Danes' footsteps. A perfect start to the season, a victory in that Champions Cup, and he is pulling away 1.9 seconds back to the battle for second place. Kutskov on the back. In fact, he goes down the inside and makes the pass for second place on Gustav Wisniewski. Matthias Verheerder, the South American, now behind the Pole and the Russian, the final step of the podium. Fast Freddy cannot improve. Slater, the reigning junior world champion, with 2 laps to go after dominating the entire week here at Adria, will miss the podium as it stands. 2.4 seconds from Rashid. Back to Kirill Kutskov and Gustav Wisniewski. Here's an opportunity. Wisniewski has not given up on second place. He won't win the race unless a catastrophe strikes the Emirati, which is unlikely. But valuable points for the championship and pride to come home second, not third. And Matthias Verheerder still, can he take the podium? Slater in the background from his teammate Ram. Rashid is now going into the hairpin. He will get the last lap board this time round. There is the Emirati in the Paralin. Kutskov in second place is the Russian. Down through the chicane, the final chance for Wisniewski. But the problem is he's got Matthias Verheerder behind him as well. Slater driving as hard as he possibly can, but the driver from the Midlands of England, the reigning junior world champion, will come up short here this afternoon. Rashid on his way to victory. The fight for second place. Al-Daheri goes by almost 3 seconds ahead. It is still the young Russian ahead of the Polish kid and the boy from Brazil, Matthias Verheerder. He's too far back. He locks up going into the sweeper, does Wisniewski. Kutskov should do it. Into the hairpin, Wisniewski does not try. That checkered flag is about to wave for the second week in a row. Rashid Al-Daheri from Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates takes a fabulous victory to win the first round of the WSK Supermaster Series at Adria Karting Raceway. Kutskov P2 is the Russian, comes home ahead of the pole, Gustav Wisniewski.